Francisco returning, getting ready for the Tennessee Titans. Wyatt Teller will not play against the Tennessee Titans. He said he had a calf injury.
Who said he had a calf injury?
Brown said he hurt his calf. Kevin Stefanski said he hurt his calf. Yeah. Said he hurt his calf in the fourth. But he said it was a performance issue.
Let's not play no games. Kevin Stefanski should be fired. This here is another fireable offense. We have Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, who has officially benched starting guard Wyatt Teller for being honest about Shadur Sanders.
You can see it clearly on the tape. Something is off in Wyatt Teller's play, but not in the way people expected. Instead of slipping, he was caught up in something that has the entire Browns locker room whispering about leadership and what's really going on behind closed doors. Stefanski actually benched Wyatt Teller, the same veteran who has been defending Shadur Sanders since day one. And here's where everything takes a sharp turn. Teller responded to that surprise benching by going out there and dropping his highest grade of the season, basically proving Stefanski wrong in real time on the field. But then Stefanski made an even more questionable move. He ruled Teller out for next week with a calf injury that Teller himself said he didn't have. When the best offensive lineman on a bottom-ranked offensive line is confused about why he's getting rotated. When team insiders start pointing out that what the coach is saying doesn't match what the player is saying.
They had him rotating every possession at the guard position last game versus San Francisco 49ers. And it's coming out that this was a punishment for him coming out and being verbally supportive of Shadur Sanders. How much lower can Kevin Stefanski stoop? This is nasty, nasty work.
And when the same guy who lifted Shadur Sanders' jersey in celebration suddenly gets iced out, something is definitely not adding up. Let's break down what's actually happening in Cleveland, because this goes way beyond a basic coaching call. This is a head coach losing the grip on his locker room and making decisions that don't line up with the film, the stats, or basic logic. And the wildest part? The people calling this out aren't just Shadur Sanders supporters online. These are real Browns reporters who cover this team every single day. And even they are now questioning what Kevin Stefanski is doing. Here's the full picture. The Browns just got blown apart by the 49 ERs, and the entire day was a mess. Injuries everywhere, players rotating nonstop, and a defense that looked completely worn down. Ethan Pochik left the game and came back. Guards were flipping in and out like a carousel. KT Levston went down, and the defense took more hits, with Isaiah McGuire getting hurt and Malik Collins possibly done for the season with a knee injury. It was pure chaos out there. And right in the middle of all this disorder, guess who was actually performing at a high level? Wyatt Teller, the exact player Stefanski suddenly decided to rotate without warning. That's when things started looking strange to anyone paying attention. Daniel Fussy, who has been covering the Browns closely, pointed out that the team posted a season-high 94.7% pass block win rate against the 49 ers. Their run block win rate was 72.9%, their fourth best of the year. That means the offensive line, despite the storm, despite the injuries, despite the rotation, actually had one of their strongest outings of the season. And who was at the center of that success? Wyatt Teller, who put up an 83.9 grade, not just the highest among the offensive linemen, the highest of any Browns player in the entire game. Think about that.
Getting ready for the Tennessee Titans. Wyatt Teller will not play against the Tennessee Titans. He said he had a calf injury.
Now he's not playing. He's not playing at all now because of the calf injury. Y'all rotated him every other offensive possession last week. Now, oh, he's out because he's being punished.
The player Stefanski benched was literally their best performer on offense that day. Then Stefanski tried to explain the rotation after the game and said he rotated Teller with Kevin Jenkins because he thought it would help Wyatt play better, and that both players played really well yesterday. That explanation only raised more eyebrows because the numbers in the tape showed Teller didn't just play well. He dominated. All right, so Kevin Stefanski gives his polished answer about why Wyatt Teller was rotated, but then Teller gets asked the same question, and his response hits totally different. He says something along the lines of not playing well enough, and you can hear the doubt in his voice as he tries to explain it. He literally starts talking about needing to improve and wondering if the benching was because he wasn't good enough. That's a veteran questioning himself because of the way his coach handled him. This is a player who has been nothing but reliable for Cleveland, a guy who's openly said he wants to finish his career with the Browns, one of the few steady pieces on a struggling offensive line. And suddenly he's sitting there second-guessing his value because Stefanski pulled him for reasons nobody can make sense of. That's not leadership from a coach. That's confusion spreading through a locker room. And here's the real truth. No, Wyatt Teller wasn't benched because he played poorly. He's still their best offensive lineman by a wide margin. Sure, he's not perfect in long third down situations, especially when he has to slide laterally. But when it comes to the run game, when it comes to creating movement at the point of attack, when it comes to executing the gap and down blocking schemes he's known for, the guy is still elite. He's doing what he's always done, and now he's being treated like a liability. Then came the comment from an analyst that should make every Browns fan stop in their tracks. He said the thing that bothered him most was how Stefanski said one thing and Teller said the complete opposite. That's the type of misalignment that destroys teams at any level, high school, college, or the NFL. When a team is already struggling and the messages from coach to players don't match, the cracks get exposed fast, and losing always brings the real problems out in the open. Not aligned. Let those words sit with you for a second. That's how a locker room slips away from a coach. That's how the energy in the building turns chaotic. And that is exactly what's happening in Cleveland right now, because you can feel the tension growing week by week. Nick Wilson and JP covered this even deeper, and what they pointed out was rough. They said Stefanski is watching Cam Robinson get pushed backwards on almost every snap, watching Jack Conklin struggle through the season, watching the offensive line break down over and over. And yet Wyatt Teller, the guy making his 100th start, the guy grading out as the best lineman on the roster all year, is the one getting benched. They straight up said they don't understand how Teller is the only lineman in the entire NFL getting held accountable for supposed bad play when he's actually grading out as Cleveland's best blocker every single week. And here's the wild part. In that same 49 ERS game where Teller got rotated, he still graded out as the top offensive player on the whole team. Not just the best lineman, the best offensive player, period. So if Stefanski was trying to send a message, maybe he should start with the guys actually struggling instead of the one player holding things together.
Finding out that Tony Pashos was basically playing with a broken shoulder and a broken leg at the same time and feeling like a piece of garbage for ripping the guy every single Sunday.
He was always in a walking boot.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what you get. You gut it out and try to play, and you get ripped by radio.
Yeah, you get ripped by some kid on the radio at the time. And I remember feeling that way. So it's if a guy's battling injury, I'll always say I think he's battling injury. I'm not hearing anything from Wyatt, and I don't think he's playing bad. That's the issue. Like, I'm not thinking that he's playing bad. And PFF, we've gone around before on. But PFF.
He had one of the higher grade. He had the highest grade on the team. And now you guys are punishing him because he came out and spoke publicly and spoke positively about Shedeur Sanders and the fact that he wasn't getting reps. And in turn, you punished him by making him rotate every other offensive possession. And you look stupid because he graded out as your top overall player for the game. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Then you add the Shadur Sanders connection, and things get even more interesting. After Shadur got his first win against the Raiders, Wyatt Teller celebrated by throwing up the number 12 on the field, showing support for the rookie quarterback. His wife Carly even posted about it online, sending love to Shadur. There are preseason pictures of Teller's family around Shadur, building a supportive bond early on. This is a veteran who has had Shadur's back from the start and publicly pushed for him to get a fair chance instead of sitting behind Dylan Gabriel. But the moment Teller starts openly questioning decisions, the moment he continues to support Shadur, the moment he speaks honestly about the confusion, suddenly he gets benched on his milestone start, and then ruled out for the next game with an injury he said he didn't have. Something about that timing feels way too convenient. You don't need a conspiracy podcast to see the pattern here. It's right in front of everybody. And let me make this clear. I'm a Texans fan wearing my jersey right now, but I love football and I want to see teams run the right way. What Stefanski is doing is not the right way. This isn't only about Shedeur Sanders, even though that's part of the tension. This goes back to how he handled Dylan Gabriel before Shadur even stepped on the field. It connects to how he mismanaged Joe Flacco last season. This is a coach who signed 2 veteran quarterbacks, drafted 2 more, and created pure chaos at the most important position on the roster. There's no plan, no structure, and definitely no alignment between Stefanski and the front office. When veteran players like Wyatt Teller start questioning whether they're even playing well enough, despite being one of the few bright spots your entire team can count on, that's a major red flag. When analysts and reporters, the same people who normally protect coaches, begin openly calling out the lack of alignment inside the building, that's another huge red flag. And when you have one of the worst offensive lines in football and somehow the only guy getting benched is the one lineman actually holding things together, while players like Cam Robinson are getting pushed backwards every other snap, that's the biggest red flag of all. At some point, you stop making excuses and start holding the head coach accountable. Because these patterns don't happen by accident, and the timing of it all makes the situation even stranger. Shedeur Sanders is only making his second pro start, trying to build chemistry with his line, trying to get comfortable in a chaotic offense. Yet Kevin Stefanski decides that is the time to start rotating guards and shuffling the interior line, even while dealing with injuries to multiple starters. That's instability at the worst possible moment for a rookie quarterback. Both offensive tackles were hurt when Shedeur first stepped in against Baltimore, and everything around him was already unstable. But instead of giving him a steady wall, Stefanski introduced even more confusion up front. Then Mary Kay Cabot jumped in on the Ultimate Cleveland podcast and tried to spin it, saying Stefanski watched the tape and felt Teller needed to take a step back and alternate snaps. She talked about his PFF grade, saying he was ranked 67th at guard and they wanted more consistency. But here's the thing Mary Kay left out. Context matters a lot.
Yeah, I just continue to be as irritated or more irritated from day to day that we don't have any clarity, that it's very clear that Wyatt himself is not thrilled with whatever's going around, and you can tell that.
So they're saying it's because of injury. He's saying, I'm fine, I'm good. I was the highest graded offensive lineman last week. Why are y'all benching me? Come on, man. You got to see, I can see this stuff from a mile away.
Teller's raw numbers might not jump off the page, but look at the environment he's working in. He's playing on the 30th ranked offensive line in football with quarterbacks rotating nonstop, injuries everywhere, and a coaching staff that can't decide what their identity is. His grades are being dragged down by the chaos around him, not his actual performance. Even with all that, he's still clearly the best lineman they have. The analysts watching the actual film are saying Teller is playing well. And when Teller got rotated against the 49 ERs, the Browns' pass block win rate and run block win rate were among their best marks of the year. So what exactly is being upgraded according to Mary Kay? Because the tape isn't supporting that claim. Let's be honest, something behind the scenes is off. When a player says he's healthy and then the coach rules him out with an injury a full week ahead of time, that's strange. When a player gets benched on his 100th career start and then responds by putting up his best performance of the season, that's strange. And when that same player has been openly supporting the young quarterback fans are begging to see on the field, and suddenly he starts getting the cold shoulder from the staff. That's extremely strange. Lance Reed summed it up perfectly. He said the Browns benched Teller out of nowhere. Teller responded with his best play of the year. And then he was ruled out for the next weekdays in advance. That's not normal. And for the first time, people who cover the Browns every day, people who usually defend the team, are finally saying what fans have been feeling all season. Kevin Stefanski is losing the locker room and the signs are everywhere. Just look at Teller's own comments about the young players. He talked about how long it takes to gain real game experience, how he didn't truly become a consistent starter until year 3, and how growing into that role takes time. That's a veteran trying to set the tone, someone who's trying to guide the young players, including Shadur Sanders, into becoming pros the right way. But all of that leadership goes out the window when the coaching staff turns the environment unstable, because coaching matters in the NFL, way more than people want to admit. Remember how rough Cam Ward looked under Brian Callahan? Same quarterback, different coach, and suddenly he's thriving. The talent didn't magically change. The coaching did, and Cleveland is dealing with the same issue right now. The Browns have talented young pieces. They have veterans who want to win. They have players who want to compete and grow together. But instead of giving them structure, stability, and a clear direction, they're dealing with strange rotation decisions, confusing public explanations, and mixed messages behind the scenes. That kills trust fast, especially in a locker room that has already dealt with more drama than most teams see in 5 years. When your best offensive lineman on a struggling line starts wondering if he's even good enough, it means the system is broken. And for everyone watching Shadur Sanders, this is the clearest proof of why the rookie has had tough stretches. It's not just about him learning the offense, it's about playing behind an offensive line where the best player is getting benched for absolutely no solid reason. And nobody in the building can explain why. It's about trying to grow in an offense where the coaching staff can't create stability, can't build consistency, and can't give the players a real foundation to work with. It's about organizational confusion from top to bottom, and everyone can feel it. Wyatt Teller wants to stay in Cleveland. He's said that clearly. He said he was grateful he didn't get traded at the deadline and hopes to re-sign so he can finish his career as a Brown. He's become Mr. Cleveland, lifting up teammates on the field and off, encouraging young players, setting the energy in the locker room, and doing everything a veteran leader should do. And this is how Kevin Stefanski treats him. Let me know in the comments. Is this how a real championship-level coach handles his roster? Is Kevin Stefanski sliding onto the hot seat? Is Wyatt Teller out of line, or is the coaching staff completely lost right now? Because from where I'm sitting, this looks like a head coach walking himself straight into getting fired. And honestly, Maybe that's exactly what needs to happen for this team to move forward. Something in Cleveland has to change. If the Browns want to develop Shedeur Sanders the right way, if they want to build around their young talent, if they want a real shot at being competitive instead of constantly climbing out of drama, it starts with leadership players can trust. Right now, that trust isn't there. Teller's strange benching is just the latest proof that things behind the scenes aren't matching the message being pushed to the fans. The real question is this: how long will Jimmy Haslam watch this chaos before stepping in? If you're losing one of your most respected veterans, if your rookie quarterback is being thrown into an unstable situation, and if you're making decisions even the most coach-friendly analysts can't defend, then what exactly are you doing to help this team succeed? So if you're sick of seeing talented players and young quarterbacks get mismanaged by coaches who can't get out of their own way, make sure you like the video, drop a comment, share it with someone who cares about football, and smash that subscribe button. We're going to keep calling out the dysfunction until something finally changes.